Hello everyone and welcome to my nursery rhyme challenge day 23. Today we are going to sing Humpty Dumpty song, which is, as you can see, is super popular. Everyone knows Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And as usual, we're gonna play the song first. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. And to learn these chords, I found the most simple version because there are lots and lots of other versions like this. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. So I thought that this one is much easier. Alright, so the first chord is C. I'll show you my ukulele. Yeah. So the first chord is C. And remember that we play down strokes only. Humpty, or down up. Let's try down up, okay? Humpty Dumpty. Now we need G7. Sat on the back to C wall. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. C. G7 C. C and C and G7 C. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. So that's our first line. The second will be the same. Humpty Dumpty, then G7 had a great fall. Now F, so that's a bar chord. All the king's horses, and then G7, all the king's, and then C, men, and then F again. Couldn't put Humpty together again. So you see that the first and second line are the same in terms of chords, and the third and the fourth line are the same as well. So which makes our life easier. Let's try again, and I'm going to do like down up, just easy ones. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. So again, C and C and G7 and C, C and C, G7 and C, then F and F, G7 and C, F and F, G7 and C. So this is the song Humpty Dumpty. Now, a little bit more about extensions, yeah? Now, number one extension that I think I would do with this song is to bring puppets. I will link the video below where I am showing puppets that children made. So we basically had felt, and we had hot glue and some other wonderful things like eyes, goggly eyes, and glitter, and they created their own puppet of Humpty Dumpty, of king, and of horse. Yes, so because it's all the king's horses and all the king's men, which was pretty easy, and the puppets are really like handmade. So you will watch my video and you will see how easy they are to create. So you just need like a template of one puppet, and then make children decorate the puppet so they resemble some horses and some king's men, and Humpty Dumpty as well. You can also put a crown on Humpty head. The second extension would be build a wall using blocks. So that's more like construction and building activity. So you will use blocks. You can use foam blocks outside in the yard, or you can use blocks that are heavy blocks. You also can use blocks that are wooden blocks inside to build something amazing. All right. Next thing, you can balance things on top of those blocks or walls that they build. So building with blocks in general is a great cognitive development activity. It also develops children's fine motor skills and gross motor skills, because they have to put blocks together and think about whether they fit, how to balance things. So it's about STEM as well, physics and gravity. It's a really great example of something that they can do socially, yeah, together and collaboratively. So, but of course, you need to provide some examples, some extensions which might be related to Humpty Dumpty. For example, give them either wooden eggs. I have those wooden eggs that yeah, like Easter eggs you can buy everywhere. They're just the oval shapes from, let's say, shapes sets. Now wooden toys are quite popular, so you can buy wooden eggs like this everywhere. And then make them balance those eggs on the wall. Yeah, especially up down, like top up and top down. So what's gonna happen? What about on the side? Are they wobbly? Why are they wobbly? Are they stable? So what's going on with those eggs? And ask children questions. What do you think will happen? Why this egg is not balancing, and why it's not stable? So this is STEM. Another one is related to inquiry. So for example, Humpty Dumpty was an egg, right? But children might not know that, right? So it says Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, and without seeing a picture, children might not know who is this Humpty Dumpty. So you can ask them, who is Humpty Dumpty, to start with. And if there is a picture, obviously they will have some guesses that it was an egg kind of creature. Because it was an egg, it fell down and it broke. So some things break when they fall, and some things do not break. So this really opens up inquiry about materials, which is really great inquiry for early childhood teachers and children, groups of children, especially children who like STEM. Typically boys would be quite engaged, but I don't think girls wouldn't be. It's more about the interest, yeah, of this particular group. Here you can also do a lot of other experiments, like throwing things basically from different heights. So for example, today I did this experience with a child when we had a cone, a pine cone, and we had banksia seed, which is different kind of cone. We had a gum nut, and we had a big rock, right? So polished pebble. And I asked him, what's gonna happen if I drop them? So Galileo experience. And he had to predict. He absolutely enjoyed doing it himself. And it's not precise, it's more about being open to curious experimentation, hypothesizing, and just thinking and having inquiry. So if you think about AYLF, Humpty Dumpty, who sat on the wall and had a great fall, can open up a line on inquiry for science. Yes, so, and that's really amazing. I would also question what makes some materials breakable, more breakable, and how we can mend things that broke, which is really linking back to sustainability, and I think it's also quite amazing. More use of recycled resources, more use of materials that broke, but we still can use them as toys if they're not toxic, right? I would also do a lot of real science experiments related to eggs. Typically, I would avoid using eggs because eggs are eggs are for eating, so it's food. But if you have, let's say, eggs from chicken in your garden, in your kindergarten or your family daycare, and parents donate eggs, and let's say you can use one egg for experiment, right? So we put this egg in vinegar, yes, so, and wait to see what happens. And then usually the whole experience unfolds. So try it by yourself and see what happens. Definitely relates to Humpty Dumpty. Next thing you can do, use like a whiteboard and mind map and brainstorm how the king's men could actually help Humpty Dumpty. So he had a great fall, and they tried to save him, but they couldn't. So what could be done to avoid this big tragedy? So that's thinking That's creative thinking, that's participating in conversation, discussion, and just asking children to participate, to collaborate, to share ideas. Next one is eggs as oval shape. I mentioned it a little bit before, but now you can focus a little bit more on showing different objects that look like eggs, and doing, like, let's say, shape hunt. So what you can find outside and inside that looks like Humpty Dumpty, right? Of this shape. Yes, so can you make shape with your fingers? Can you draw it in the air? Also, you can cover other shapes such as square, circle, triangle, etc. Rhyming, yes, so wall, fall, make children now, as more and more teachers will be singing and writing and reading poetry and reciting poetry with children, the more they will be familiar with how to find those rhymes, right? So in this case, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, wall, they rhyme. Also man, again. Yes, so it's not a lot of other rhyming words, but Humpty Dumpty is another one that I would pay attention to. So Humpty, is that his name? Is it his name? Usually it might be his first name, and Dumpty is his surname. So Humpty Dumpty. So I would definitely pay attention to that. And say how funny this sounds, and maybe draw attention to children's names, not in terms of how funny they sound, but more about what do they sound like. So also will encourage them to elaborate, or I would say play with language and create new names such as Fumpty, Pumpty, or Mumpty Frumpty, and that would be really cool, especially if you write it down on the board. So this is all I have about Humpty Dumpty. And this concludes our day 23 of 30 days of nursery rhyme. We have 1 week to go. And I hope you are enjoying learning baritone ukulele. We have a big surprise at the end of this nursery rhyme challenge. So I hope you keep an eye on the next few videos and participate in this particular surprise action. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, probably tomorrow.